जी सतकरतार वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। बहुत बहुत मेहरबानी आप जी सब लोग जुड़े हो ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ जुड़ रहे हो। ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਯਾਰ ਅਨਾਦ ਵਰਚੁਅਲ ਬੈਠਕ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਇਹ 6ਵੀਂ ਕੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਫੜਿਆ ਗਿਆ। ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਚ ਬੜੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਕਿ ਹੌਫਸਟਰਾ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਹਨਗੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਜ ਜੁੜੇ ਨੇ। ਸਿੱਖ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਕਲਾਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਅੱਜ ਜੁੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ। ਔਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚੈਸਕਾ ਕਾਸਿਓ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਆਫ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਹਨਗੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਖਾਸ ਜੁੜੇ ਵੀ ਹਨਗੇ। ਅਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਹੋਰ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫੇਰ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਕਰਦਾ, ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ। ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਾਰਮੈਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵਾਰਤਾ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ 'ਚ ਹੋਏਗੀ। ਮੋਸਟ ਆਫ ਇਟ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਕਨਵਰਸੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਿਲ ਹੈਪਨ ਇਨ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼, ਸੋ ਆਈ ਵਿਲ ਜਸਟ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਵਿਦ ਯੂ ਕਪਲ ਆਫ ਨੋਟਸ ਇਨ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਫਾਰਮੈਟ ਬਾਰੇ। ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਪਬਲਿਕ ਕਲਾਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ। 7 ਜਾਂ 8 ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਹਨਗੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਹਨਗੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇਣੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ। ਇਹ ਕਲਾਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਚੇਅਰ ਕਰਨਗੇ, ਹੋਸਟ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚੈਸਕਾ ਕਾਸਿਓ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣੇ ਸੱਦਾ ਦਿਆਂਗਾ। ਆਈ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਹਰ ਵੈਰੀ ਸ਼ਾਰਟਲੀ। ਅਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ 'ਚ ਵਾਰੀ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਮੈਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਆਵਾਂ। ਅਤੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਸਿਗਨਲ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕੋ ਵੇਲੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਨਾ ਲਿਆ ਪਾਵਾਂ। ਹੁਣੇ ਟਰਾਈ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੀ 2-4 ਮਿੰਟ ਵਿਲੰਬ ਹੋਇਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਔਨਲਾਈਨ ਲਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਗਨਲ ਘੱਟ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਟਰੀਮਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਮਾਨਾ ਜੋ ਆਪ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੋਕਡਾਊਨ 'ਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸੁਵਿਧਾਵਾਂ ਸੰਘਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਨਗੀਆਂ। ਸੋ ਫਾਰਮੈਟ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੋਏਗਾ। ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹੀਏ ਇਸ ਰਾਦਰ ਵਿਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ, ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚੈਸਕਾ ਕਾਸੀਓ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਕਾਸੀਓ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ। ਉਹ ਹੌਫਸਟਰਾ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਰਦਾਰਨੀ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਕੌਰ ਚੇਅਰ ਇਨ ਸਿੱਖ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕੋਲੋਜੀ ਹੈ, ਉੱਥੇ 2 ਚੇਅਰਸ ਹਨਗੀਆਂ। ਇੱਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਚੇਅਰ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਬਲਵਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਭੋਗਲ ਹੈਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਕਾਸੀਓ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਨਗੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕੋਲੋਜੀ ਦੀ ਚੇਅਰ ਹੈਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਡਾਕਟਰ ਕਾਸੀਓ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਕਲਾਸ ਬਾਰੇ, ਚੇਅਰ ਬਾਰੇ, ਔਰ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੀਡਿੰਗਸ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ, ਫਾਰਮੈਟ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣੂ ਕਰਾਉਣਗੇ। ਮੇਰਾ ਸੁਭਾਗ ਹੈ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਅਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਕਾਸੀਓ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਨਿਮੰਤਰਣ ਦੇ ਰਿਹਾ। ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਕਾਸੀਓ, ਯੂ ਆਰ ਔਨ ਲਾਈਨ, ਦ ਫਲੋਰ ਇਜ਼ ਯੋਰਸ।
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ, and thank you very much, Bhai Sab, for hosting this interview in your Baithak series. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay. It is really a honor to be part of this series. And let me explain to those who join us on Facebook how the idea of this interview started. And in order to do this, I would like to provide a little background about the Sikh Musicology Chair's mission and the Sikh Musicology classes we teach at Hofstra. Since 2011, I have the honor to serve the endowed chair in Sikh Musicology, which was established thanks to the generous gift of Dr. Hakam Singh from California, who named the chair after his late wife, the Sardarni Harbans Kaur. The objective of the chair is to settle an academic platform for the study of the GurSikh musical heritage, an area not yet covered in the field of Sikh studies and by South Asian musicology. In particular, the research on the medieval and early modern, what we could define the pre-colonial musical heritage, is an essential component of our work to understand not only the changes that happened over the past 100 years, but also to seize the contribution of Gurbani Sangeet to South Asian music and South Asian culture. And to this end, for instance, in October 2019, Professor Vogel, the chair in Sikh Studies at Hofstra University, and I organized the first international conference focusing on the Sikh musical heritage. And this conference, for the first time, included scholars from different different universities and scholars coming from South Asia, Europe, from the United States, they congregated to discuss and debate the contribution of the Gurbani Sangeet, or this Sikh musical heritage, to the pre-colonial history of South Asian music. And this was unprecedented, never happened before. And in this way also, the title of the conference was Ek Anek, and one and many, looking also at the multifaceted aspects of and the very inclusive nature of the Guru Granth Sahib and the GurSikh musical heritage, but also the role of Gurbani Sangeet in preserving the voices of the others, the voices of the Bhakti, of the Sufi tradition. And so how, for instance, Baba Farid's Bani has been preserved in the Guru Granth Sahib, but also Baba Farid sang Bani, the sang poetry has been transmitted and thanks to the GurSikh Panths for centuries. And Baldeep Singh was the keynote speaker of the conference. He also presented a wonderful performance showcasing, for instance, the Rabab he handcrafted. The Rabab was played by Daud Sadozai. And Bhai Baldeep Singh in that performance wanted to recreate the experience of Gurū Nānak singing, being accompanied by the Rabab with no percussion, for instance. However, going back to the Sikh music chair missions and the classes, with my students, I discussed the revival of the pre-colonial Gurbani Kirtan, and in this context, I introduced my students to the work of Bhai Baldeep Singh, what he has done over more than 3 decades to recover the instruments, the repertoires, the playing techniques, so all the tangible and the intangible heritage of the GurSikhs. My students had many questions about it. Of course, this is something that has never been written down in books so far. There is an increasing literature, articles, but not yet Gurbani, the GurSikh tradition has been included in a book about South Asian music. Students, especially undergraduate students. And I thought it would have been good for my students to talk directly to the source, to Bhai Baldeep Singh, and ask questions to him. And also, I want to open this platform, this conversation on a public platform as Facebook and Facebook Live in this case, so that the conversation could be of interest also to others. And before I leave the floor to these questions to my students to converse with Bhai Baldeep Singh, let me introduce Bhai Baldeep Singh for those who are not familiar with his work and with his contribution. I have the privilege to know Bhai Baldeep Singh since the early 1990s, and I witness also his tireless research in the field of Gurbani. I'm not going to read his biodata. You have it also in the presentation of this Facebook live series, but I would like to focus on just few aspects and what his contribution to me means in the field of South Asian studies. Bhai Baldeep Singh is a man of many talents. He's a percussionist, a singer, a scholar, filmmaker, an activist, a politician, also a luthier, and last but not least, also a poet. From the Western standpoint, it may be difficult actually to frame his numerous contributions in one category. Because he's not just a percussionist, not just a singer or a scholar or a filmmaker. But I think this is exactly the point. In doing so, Bhai Baldeep Singh is re-establishing an indigenous, holistic approach to knowledge, an approach that existed before the impact of Eurocentric thinking, that Eurocentric colonial thinking that divided, for instance, practice from theory, divided body and sound, divided literature and music. Katha and Kirtan. So through this holistic Bhai Baldeep Singh is reconstituting a unity that existed before the impact of coloniality. And in fact, he often refers to his ancestors' heritage as the uncolonized heritage. And for the first time, this term has been used with reference to the Sikh heritage, the uncolonized element. In fact, Bhai Baldeep Singh was born in a family that it is blessed to serve the Sikh legacy from the time of Gurū Nānak. And the body of compositions remembered within his lineage is probably the only one that to this day is not based on the Rababi's musical heritage and memory. His pioneering efforts to restore instruments, the playing techniques, the vocal and instrumental repertoires, the indigenous pedagogy are some of his seminal contributions in the field, but they again constitute a unity. You cannot see or frame the restoration, the reconstruction of ancient instruments like the jori or the rabab and the taos without understanding that an instrument is not just an object, but you need to restore the pedagogy, the playing techniques. How do you teach this playing technique? What kind of methodology will you use? So I think this is a revolutionary approach in the field of South Asian studies, using the native pedagogy, which comes from the orality, from the oral narratives that Bhai Baldeep Singh recovered from his family. Musicians and scholars. I would like to mention, just make it brief because I would like to give space to my students, to Bhai Baldeep Singh, but I would like to mention just points. And one of these is his first documentary film titled The Sacred Music of the Sikhs, which is actually the first documentary about the Sikh musical heritage done back in 1991 that showcased the revival of priceless Sikh musical instruments. This was a global movement or gave the start to a global movement to readopt traditional Sikh music instruments. But also, and I'm going towards the end, in my opinion, Bhai Baldeep Singh brought into the field a revolutionary approach that dignified and re-legitimized Gurbani Sangeet and its pre-colonial history as one of the most important traditions of South Asia. With profound analytical skills and comprehensive knowledge of Hindustani music, Bhai Baldeep Singh established an epistemic reconstitution of concepts, practices that have been orally preserved, unearthing a discourse that has always existed but never made public. This represents special knowledge that, as one of his formative teachers, by Arjun Prang, explained to him, is mahanga ilm, a precious, priceless thing that cannot be bought, sold, taught for money. It is part of the GurSikh parampara that has been preserved in a way that the intangible knowledge becomes a sustained living form. So it is important that this knowledge is passed on, and I'm glad that I was able to receive it from Bhai Baldeep Singh, of whom I'm a student, but also I'm able now to transmit it to my students. And it's really a joy to see my teacher and my students together on a screen right now. So this is not only a project, but also a strategy to make Gurbani alive, the knowledge of Gurbani alive, available to Gurbani, but also available to the world, because this is not only Sikh heritage, this is the heritage of the world and has to be preserved for this reason. So also, as you see, for instance, in the screen, my students hail from different backgrounds. We have Jiacheng from China, Shaina, of course, from the United States, and Harita, whose background to a King family of Guyanese origin, Michael, Joe, and Kirandeep Kaur, Gordon from China also. And I'm very glad that this cast represents a beautiful bunch of flowers blooming in the light of the GurSikh heritage. So before we begin the interview, I would like to invite Bhai Baldeep Singh also to share a few words, and then I will introduce my students and their questions. Thank you very much.
What can I say? It has been a pleasure for me to see you all. I have, of course, had the chance to visit the university a few times when there was only the Sikh chair. Professor Arvind Mandir used to be heading that chair. Then I was a witness to when Professor Bhogal came and became the Sikh chair. I was a consultant when the Sikh Musicology chair was to be formed, and I had the opportunity to teach a credit course at the Hofstra University at the Sikh chair, which it had organized. I think there were two that were organized. The other one was taught by Dr. Gurū Nānak, who was at the Punjab University at the time. So, and the logic again was to bring someone who had been active in the university circles, which was Dr. Gurū Nānak. But my work of actually reviving and reconstructing, recovering, seeking out, searching from the ruins of Punjab at large, in the sense Punjab that is split between India and Pakistan, and also go around South Asia, because unlike Carnatic music, which is only confined to some areas of South India, unlike Hindustani Sangeet, which was mostly derived from the histories of the Mughal Empire, which was the Mughal court, which was in Delhi, seated in Delhi, originally in Agra, of course, with Fatehpur Sikri, with Emperor Akbar, and slowly evolving on to to Delhi, and then Rampur was another court especially after the British came and annexed Mughal, the Mughal throne. The musicians actually dispersed, so they went mostly to Rampur initially, and Gwalior continued to be an important seat of music as well. So predominantly the musical history of these three regions or these three empires became, in a nutshell, the more or less the musical history of India. Save other kingdoms, there were many. There were several hundred small kingdoms in India, and they all had wonderful patrons of arts and crafts and music. Many of the monarchs used to study music themselves, and those exchanges used to happen. Annual events would happen, and there was a constant, cross-pollination, exchange of ideas, compositions, raga systems, tal systems, performances, and so on and so forth. So it was a very vibrant scene. But then the Gurbani Sangeet, in fact, was the most widely sung because, one, the authorship of Guru Granth Sahib is such. It is 24 languages according to experts and 120 dialects. And 36 authors drawn from across South Asia, which includes Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh and areas like that. And celebration of really excellence and attainment, spiritual attainment. Gurbani was not based on hypothesis or on a belief system that I believe this or I believe that. It was on realizing what actually is. Maybe I believe something, but maybe that isn't really the fact in reality. So this really rubbed off on people, and it was Gurū Nānak's voice was for women, for dignity to women. It was the first ever voice, I think, recorded in the later 1400s or late 1400s, towards the end of the 15th century, when he reprimanded the mankind for having banished womankind to being a mere property. Being a mere object, something that was considered literally filth and dirty. And Gurū Nānak, of course, reprimanded in his epic composition, a ballad in Asa, Rag Asa, is sung every day across the world, and that has that everyday Sikhs, even which is a very still predominantly a patriarchal society. Still, the Gurū Nānak, sits up every morning and spanks and speaks for it. So these aspects, revolutionary and words of the Gurus, which went against the caste system, the class system. It spoke of equality, and Gurbani was basically sung across South Asia. No other musical system of South Asia has been sung so widely. Yes, partition of India played a havoc. Millions and millions died, unaccounted for. People who've never actually been counted. There's never been a white paper, because I think it was a very shameful act on part of the colonial power that was. And India and Pakistan, the political leaders of Pakistan and India, because they would have been implicated in this mass. It had never happened before. Invasions happened in India. Mughals came, the Turks came, Afghans came. Every year, every few years, there would be a change of seat of power. Sometimes some revolts from within the country would come, and there would be changes of regimes. But never before was immigration, mass immigration, enforced. Aurangzeb did not do it, what they did. So that is why my voice, even within the political space, is a little scathing, and little people are afraid. Politicians who are belonging to the same parties which were in vogue at the time are afraid, because I'm asking for lessons to be learned, for more research to be done, more facts to be revealed to people. What happened? How did it happen? And what are the benefits? We have never counted pros and cons. So just to say, to end my note, that Gurbani Sangeet, sadly, since partition of 1947, was relegated to, in no man's land. Nobody owned it up. There was no representation. For decades, smaller traditions got the exponents who represented small traditions. Howsoever wonderful, I'm not judging on their class, because class was everywhere. Extraordinary class was in Gurbani Sangeet as well. But how is it that for 70 years, 60 years, not one exponent of Gurbani Sangeet was given the top civilian honors, when other lesser traditions, much later traditions, were recognized? UNESCO, intangible heritage, all other traditions which were created even in the 20th century, mid-20th century or later 20th century, are now recognized as intangible heritage, which is a joke. They are yet to be heritage. They have not even traveled 3 generations, but but the original tradition of Gurbani Sangeet and many other traditions, of course, that were in vogue, there's no work done on them, no documentation done on them. So I'm glad that Dr. Hakan Singh, who had the vision to install a chair in the United States, and his vision to work with Mr. Teji Bindra, who had already established, who was a trustee, one of the trustees of the Hofstra University, and they were in conversation, and they thought, why don't we bring the 2 chairs? The new chair can be formed here, and they could work together. And it has been my pleasure to watch, especially the seminar, international seminar that was hosted by Professor Cassio with the Sikh chair headed by Professor Bhai Baldeep Singh. So it has been very moving. In fact, it is a place of convergence of some of the finest minds who have contributed in their own way, in their own qualitative and quantitative way, to the field of, to the Sikh field, to the Sikh studies, and to the Sikh music and Sikh musicology. So it is my pleasure to be hosted today in my Baithak series by Professor Cassio and, of course, the students. And I look forward to answering the questions in the best possible manner that I can. So Professor Cassio, yes, so the floor is yours. And if I can request you, in fact, can you do one thing for me? If you can, I don't know how, your camera is placed vertical. So you will have to don't shift it. I don't think it will go on auto. Maybe try it once, or let me just hold on a second. Let me do one thing. Let me take you off actually from camera so that now can you try to make your camera horizontal, please? It'll make my life very easy.
Okay.
Yeah, all the cameras needed to be that. I'm afraid, so I'll have to, yeah, but I'll have to disconnect you and I'll call you back. Can you just disconnect the call and I will add you momentarily?
Okay.
Yeah. There we have. So it's just that for everybody, the format is wide, and she was only vertical, and there was a lot of space, which was I think. Did you Francesca? I think you moved the camera again before you connected. So you have to keep it horizontal when you accept the call. Do not make it vertical. No, I
did.
still see you. You did?
Yes, because my phone cannot actually turn the image in the horizontal. So the phone is in the horizontal position, but not the picture.
Oh.
So to see you, I have to bend my head.
No. That's not the point. We don't want to do that. I guess there is a way to move from the phone, or can you connect with your computer? Do you have Skype on computer?
It will take me some time. I will. Okay.
All right. If you can set it up, meantime, and let me know.
Maybe we can begin. We can begin with the questions while I do that.
Yes. Okay. Would you like to invite someone in particular?
Sure, I would.
I would want whose name is called. If you can raise your hand so that I can then bring you on the screen.
Okay, I would like to begin with Kirandeep Kaur, and he has a question. She hails from a Sikh family, and she's
Kirandeep, can you raise your hand, please, for me? Yes. Okay, here I am. Adding you.
So she's used to listen to the standard kirtans in the Gurdwara here on Long Island, actually Connecticut. She hails from Connecticut, and she has a question for you. As when she came to my class, she said, "Oh wow, how it is different to sing, the shabads set to ragas and tal," and she immediately felt the effect of the raga and how different that was. And so she has a nice question to begin with. Please go ahead.
All right. Kirandeep, welcome to the class. It's my pleasure to host you. So, Sat Sri Akal. So you have a question for me, I understand.
Hanji. So my question was, why do you think majority of ragis or kirtanis are swaying away from this traditional style of kirtan?
Okay, that's a question. That's a very important question. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ? Do you speak Punjabi?
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਅੱਛੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ?
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦਾ ਟੈਸਟ ਲਵਾਂ?
ਲੈ ਲਓ।
ਡੰਗਰ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ?
Monkey.
No, ਬਾਂਦਰ ਹੈਗਾ। Okay, so you need to find the difference. Check the difference between dangar and the bandar. Anyway.
Okay.
So let's come back to your question, and so I guess it is as part of my conservation work. So my role, my entry into the field is very different than all other ragis or even people who are in universities. They were all musicians to begin with. People who went on to do PhDs and came on to either be as readers in universities or assistant professor, associate professors, or tenured professors or deans, etc., head of departments. They all were musicians to begin with, or they were interested in music and then learned music, or then they have had to sidestep or add on the Gurbani Sangeet or Gurmat Sangeet as it is mistakenly called. But we can look into the idea of Gurbani and Gurmat Sangeet differently. In fact, today morning when I was introducing in my coronavirus-related monologue, there was one gentleman who asked me the question. I think it was Amrit Sandhu, and I did answer the difference between Gurmat Sangeet and Gurbani Sangeet. Gurmat Sangeet has become very fashionable. Everybody, not everybody, but many people are using Gurmat Sangeet. But my granduncle would call it Gurmat Kirtan. That means Kirtan that is done in accordance with Gurmati. Gurmati is Guru's wisdom. Then he is actually referring to not just the musical aspect, but to the etiquette of what Kirtan is. How does a Kirtaniya needs to be ornate? What is the ornamentation in question? For example, there is a composition. It's a Sikh music class. None of you is allergic to music, is it? Hello. I'm talking to everyone. Anybody allergic to music? Okay. Any allergic to my singing? Okay. At the best, I would have asked you to put your masks on if you were allergic. Anyway, so there's a beautiful composition of Guru Arjan Dev, and it's a very important one. It is Ko Bikamagar Tora. That Ko is, it's a rare person who can open up, unwind or unravel or sort of solve this very difficult riddle, this knot. Original composition, which dates back to Guru Sahib's times, sung by him, playing the saranda. So you get the analysis of mutualism between rag, tal, the raga, the melodic systems, tal, the rhythmic, the percussive systems, shabd, the word, the very reason why the word is, the meaning, literal meaning, its contextual meaning, that is, what is it doing in the composition? And what was the meaning of that word in the times of the Gurus? How did the Guru use it and not any other word? So all of that study comes within the word, the Shabda. So Rag, Tal, Shabd, the third element, the third pillar, and also the Dadrishtant. So sometimes most translations you will find written in the 19th, 20th century, which I have serious problems with, they end up at the Drishtant, at the reference or the addendum or the analogy that is given. But sometimes the analogy has another subtle realm or reality to it. That is at times why these similes or metaphors or phrases exist in the Bani. Very seldom we find now, of course, very few people would be there who have that fourth, the last element to do with the Shabda. And the fourth pillar is the Surt, the Chit, the consciousness. So the four of them, the mutualism is that. Now, when we look at these compositions, Ko Bikamagar Tora. Tora is the one to break, who breaks this knot, who unravels this riddle. So you see the important note Dhavat, the sixth sharp, where it strikes. Ko Bikamagar Tora and Tora Dhabamagerisa. So you see the mutualism between the what the intent is and the enactment of the meaning, how it is. Actually, it's a real conversation. Oi, come here. Then you say, come here. Your hand saying, come here, or go away. Come here, go away. So it is that organic, the compositions, these compositions that go back to time, in time rather. Look at this composition. Ko bikamagar tore, ko bikamagar tore. What is that knot? Aas pe aas dho moho. So aas is asha, is expectation or aspiration. Pyas is thirsts, longings, your cravings. Pyas, dho is deceit, and moho is infatuation, is endearment, but over endearment. I mean, it's more would be actually infatuation. Aas, pyas, dho moho, and bharam is illusion. Hite hora. Hora is the one who is able to escape or be able to rid these off. Is able to shake them off. Look at this. Go bikhumagar tore, go bikhumagar tore, aas be aas dho moho bharam hite hore, go bikhumagar tore. And the first stanza is, so first word, aas pyas dho moho bharam. 4 vices, 4 problems were counted by Guru Arjan, that these have to be shed off. The one who sheds is the key. He's talking about the one who breaks away the shackles, the entanglement. And then he counts in the first stanza, Kam, Krodh. So 6th and the 7th, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Man. So Kam is lust. Lust for anything. Lust for, it's not just... it can be material. It is not just in relationships. It is not just about sexuality. It's about morality too. It's about ethics. It can be lust for anything. Power, for example. Lust for money. So, kam, krodh, anger. All kinds of anger. They can be subtle. They can be gross. Kam, krodh, lobh is greediness. It's to be greedy. And man is ego, to do with ego. So he counts 9 of these values or vices that have to be rid of. I'll sing these 3 lines again so that you have an idea of the musical, the lyric, and of course the recurring theme of Dhaba Magaresa. Ko bikhumagar tore, ko bikhumagar tore, aas be aas dho moho bharam hite hore. Ko bikhumagar tore, काम क्रोध लोभ मान ए व्याधि छोर है को बिखमगार तोड़ है को बिखमगार तोड़ है. Now the Sanchari comes, the third part of the composition comes, where it is the knowledge comes. The Guru comes and gives the knowledge to the seeker. Sant sang naam rang gun govind gavo. So in the company of the saintly, Sant Sangi, there is naam, is the understanding or the realization of the doer. Sant Sang naam, in that realization that Guru Nānak says, Nanak sachi rate vismadi, visma bhai gun gaida. It is related to that. It is not literally naam, is not name. It is something bigger. It is being imbued in the real one, the one that is, the one who has no form, the one who has no gender, the one who was never born, the one who never dies, the one who can create in an instant, the one who can disappear in an instant, the one who is the doer of all, the one who is present in all, that one. So to be imbued in that. So Sant Sange Namuranga, and encolored in the remembrance, in the Karta, in the Naam, Guru Gobind Gao, sing the praises, sing the virtues of the Karta. Now, let me see if I need to bring in Dr. Cassio. Are you there? I need to add her. I think she had maybe disconnected, and I will continue just from there. Add. Yes. So, Sant Sang Namurang Gun Gobind Gavo. Gun Gobind Gavo, Anadino Prabdhyavo, Bharam Bheet, Jeet Mitavo, Nidhi Naam Nanak Bol. Now, this is very unique a composition, and the last parts I will sing and will come to your question again. Sant Sang Namurang Gun Gobind Gavo, Anadino Prabdhyavo, Bharam Bheet, Jeet Mitavo, Nidhi Naam Nanak More. Now this is Gurmat. This is showing methodology of Gurū Nānak, for example, of Guru Arjan, for example, or the Gurus, literally, if you want, if you may. Now, if this methodology is adhered to, you become capable of singing the Kirtana, singing the Jas, Hari Jas. There's another composition of Guru Arjan again. Mohan neend na aave, have har kajar bastar bharan kine, udini, 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 kab ghar averi. Saran sohagan charan sis dhar lalan mohe milavo, kab ghar averi. I will not sing for the sake of brevity. I've given you one example, one illustration. But the third part is very important. He says, Suno saheri milan baat kaho, sagro aham mitao. Listen, friend, the Guru says to the seeker, eradicate all your egos. सुनो सहेरी मिलन बात कहो सगरो हम मिटाओ तो घर ही लालन पाओ. You will find, you will discover the creator, your creator, the creator of all beings, the father and mother of all that there is, your mother and father, that creator who's directly your mother, directly your father, you are the child of God. That one when you find within, सुनो सहेरी मिलन बात कहो सगरो हम मिटाओ तो घर ही लालन पाओ. It says tab, then, tab ras mangal gun gavo. Then you sing the rasa, the mangal and the virtues. For unless you have realized the one, how can you sing the virtue? Your singing or your praise is only on hearsay. It came as a revelation to somebody, so you're copying, or it's a story of somebody said it's a revelation. It's a hearsay. Or somebody says it's this or that, it's not hearsay. It says you have to realize yourself and then you sing. So the idea of Gurmat is given, of what is actually Gurmat. So you have to do Kirtan by way of Gurmat. So Gurmat Kirtan is understandable. But when you look at Gurbani Sangeet, you are including all authors of Gurbani, irrespective of the fact whether they were the Sufi saints whose works are in Gurbani, whether the Bhakti Margis, Bhakti tradition exponents whose works are in the Gurbani, or different Gurus whose works are in the Bani. Now they are all included when you when you use the term Gurbani Sangeet. Now most of Francesca, can you put your microphone off when you make the movements, please? Yeah, and can you switch your microphone off when you're making the movements? And so the idea of how ragis are singing and not singing today, most ragis do not even know all this I've shared. What is happening mostly is people take a few shabads and they copy a few tunes, maybe from films, maybe from some ghazal singers' tunes or some folk tunes, and they take a composition and they start singing. They remember they have a very limited repertoire. They have never studied the tradition actually, and the intangible assets, the uniqueness about intangible heritages, that it thrives and lives if you learn it. The way to kill intangible heritage is to not to learn it, and it dies. It dies a very quick death within a tradition. Like when I did research in the 90s, later 80s and early 90s, I came in conversation with elders who were born in the last decade of the 19th century, the 1890s born, right? My grandfather was 1897. He taught me the first composition in 1985, died in 1986. Now then I studied by Arjan Singh Tarangat. These are two very important people who were born in the late 19th century. Now, other people, when we saw the partition, the socio-political reasons that the reality that there was in the lead up to the partition of 1947, everything changed. The priorities changed. People were uprooted. There were musical traditions that had thrived in a certain village or villages around in satellite villages for thousands of years, hundreds and hundreds of years, suddenly evaporated. So that was the one greatest, fatal attack on the Indian civilization that has ever been done. It is nothing that comes close to it. No other invasion of any country whatsoever comes near it. It is even worse than the destruction of the native aboriginals, cultures, etc., being destroyed. Because this was people being uprooted, maybe somehow comes closer. When you convert everything and destroy everything that exists, it is the greatest crime against humanity, because you're destroying human heritage. Every person, every philosophy, every concept has a right to thrive on the world platter. There's nothing greater, nothing lesser, because who's saying what? Who's who? I mean, how can I say my word is bigger than yours or your word is bigger than mine? That's nonsense. That is ancient Stone Age. Now, for example, we have the Parliament of World Religion. Everybody, it is recognized the fact. Muslims recognize there are other faiths. Christians recognize, yes, there are other faiths, and so on and so forth. Sikhs understand always from the very inception, because Guru Granth Sahib celebrates both. Ved kateb kaho mat chuthe, chutha jo na vichare. Do not call the Indic or the Semitic scriptures as false. False are those who do not contemplate on them. This is Bhagat Kabir in Guru Granth. So you're introduced to everything that is. Now, coming to Ragis, why they are going away from tradition? I don't know. How can they go away from the tradition? Because they never had it in the first place. In my experience, Kiran, to end this answer, this response of mine, the ones whom I met, who had the knowledge, they were the embodiment of the parampara of Gurbani Sangeet. They were the most beautiful people that I have ever met. Their sense of humor, their learning, their exegetical understanding, they were accomplished students of the Gurbani tradition. And that included music, that included both Katha and the Kirtan element. The poor fellows of the day, they are just item singers. They have one shabad, they have some tune they copy, or they are somehow adapt on their own, or they have a few variations that they sing, little tans, and then say, oh, look how great I sing. This is the length and breadth of the singers of the day. So the thing that I would like to underscore is, I would not say that why are people going away from the tradition. I would say all those who are singing Kirtan in the name of Kirtan, who have made profession singing Gurbani their profession, they need to first come to the tradition. They need to come to to learn the heritage. And not be running away, copying music from non-Gurbani Sangeet sources, non-GurSikh heritage sources, because that is plagiarism. Most of the people are singing Chota Khayal. Now, Chota Khayal is not born in the Gurus. None of the Gurus sang that form, but everybody thinks they are copying Chota Khayal. I think they are great Kirtaniyas. No, they are not. Sorry, you are just musicians who are using Gurbani instead of any other text. Or you come to my street, or I'll come to your street, I'll sit under, or like O Sole Mio, La Finestra Toya, I'll sit under your window forever. Those romantic songs. Instead of those, you're taking some Gurbani and transposing Gurbani into that. So this is somehow the way that needs to be. There has to be a shift in the understanding. I would ask, why are the contemporary Kirtaniyas? I would ask the contemporary Kirtaniyas or singers of Gurbani, why are they not studying Kirtan? It is not that the Gurbani, as I shared, heritage, they are some of the greatest compositions ever written in world music. There is analysis have been done, the uniqueness, the features, the architecture, everything has been looked at now considerably. So it is not that the music lacks anything. It is that the people need to come to the tradition to learn it in the name of Kirtan. Don't just take the lyric, copy rag from somewhere, tal from somewhere, and do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paisa. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
So I will say one more thing, just that as we are having a little pause here. That anyone who is not in conversation, or even Professor Cassio, when you are doing any other chores, you need to put your microphone off when you make a movement. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. I was just trying to set.
I know.
The microphone in the computer and the phone in a position in which you can actually hear me.
Now,
it seems that there were issues with audio. We have only a half hour left, then students have to go for other classes, so maybe shorter answers will help. Joe had a question, but I think if you want to pose your question, but I think Bhai Sahib has already answered. But anyways, ask your question.
Sure. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Cassio, hello. Dr. Cassio has talked a lot, about all your accomplishments and how you've helped revive the tradition, but and you've given a lot of reasons why this work has to be done, but I was wondering if there's any other factors that personally motivate you day to day to do everything you're doing.
Can you repeat the question again? There was some disturbance, please.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just wondering since you've done so much, over the last decades, what keeps you motivated? Like every day when you wake up, what do you tell yourself to help yourself continue to do all the work you're doing?
I see. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your question. Dr. Cassio, on the length of my answers, I command the length of my answers. On a naughty note, may I say. And of course, the students have to leave when they have to leave. And if I feel it is important for them to have a little comprehensive understanding of it, because the field is such and the knowledge is so little out there to learn. I feel it is important to address certain things to a certain extent. But anyway, coming to the inspiration. Well, as I had referred briefly earlier, that I was introduced to Kirtan very early on. My mother was my first teacher. And then, of course, within the family, I learned. But it was only in 1987 when I first went to Delhi, and I came in direct contact with my granduncles, Bhai Baldeep Singh, Gurcharan Singh. Francesca, don't touch the microphone because it makes a lot of sound. In any movement on your side, you need to put the microphone off and then do it. The gravity of the situation was suddenly made. I was made aware of that the tradition was dying. That was 1987. My granduncles, Bhai Sahib Avtar Singh and Bhai Sahib Gurcharan Singh, who were both the head ragis at Gurudwara Seesganj in Delhi, they began to storytell that how Kirtan used to be, how my ancestors, or they would tell your ancestors, and of course theirs, they're my granduncles, they're my grandfather's first cousins, how it used to be, how four pakhavajas used to be, how rababs and the sarandas and the tausas used to be played along, and so on and so forth. And I began to look, and I was, a student of defense studies, understood tactics, strategy. I could analyze already. I was being readied for the military service, I was already an aviator, a glider pilot, a champion aero modeler, and so on and so forth. So I was, I think, it was perfect time for me to be introduced to my granduncles, and I understood the gravity of the situation. So in 2 years, I had already learned several compositions, tens of compositions, maybe more than 100, which were original, starting with the first one that my grandfather taught in 1985, which went in Rag Gaudi. Tere ghar baso Hari jan pyare Satth gur tumare kaaj Savare Tere ghar bas. Rag Gaudi of the Bhairo Mel. And it's original of Guru Arjan, as I was told at the time, but I couldn't go low, so I learned it and I kept it in the somewhere in the back in a closet. Until my granduncles then, when they began teaching me this composition, of course, came back and has lived with me ever since, and one of my favorites. So the gravity of the situation, that the Kirtan was dying, how before partition of 1947 would come often. What was there before? How the Rababis and Sikhs were together. There would be a healthy competition between them. They would force, in fact, in a way, metaphorically, each other to work hard, to become better musicians, to create better and better variations, better music, and so on and so forth. So that concern rubbed off onto me, and in response, in 1989, when I was selected to fly fighters for as a flying pilot for the 147 flying pilots course for the Indian Air Force. Starting January 90, I then decided that someone is needed to recover, because all the elders, I saw a pattern that all the memory bearers were in their 80s or 90s or very late 70s, as my younger granduncles were. So I renounced my career and I came with a purpose. I'm not a musician first, I'm a conservator first, and who can also sing some, who can play some, who's a luthier, who can do plenty other things. But I came with a conscious effort. So I have never had the problem to inspire myself or to look for inspiration. I think I am, if I may, with a very sort of care, with a lot of care, if I may say, I am sort of inspiration incarnate, at least in the field, to serve 24/7 in the field of Gurbani Sangeet. I don't need any other inspiration. My inspiration were the memory bearers who brought the tradition to me. My grandmother who said, son, remember anything else but never forget one thing. The journey this knowledge has taken, decades and centuries of persecution, your grand ancestors and the other grand ancestors within the GurSikh tradition, they remembered this tradition, they never lost this heritage. It has come unto you. The world is now very easy. It is risky not to work hard. There is a risk that people forget the idea of hard work and perseverance. So I think I'm sort of my inspiration part and my passion. I wrote once, my passion is my fashion. So I think I'm okay with that. Thank you very much for the question. I hope it answers your question.
So with that, I would like to ask Michael to pose this question to Paisa, because he says something about what would you like to do more, what could be done more than that. But Michael, you go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Okay, so with all the work you have done recovering information on traditional Sikh instruments and the way Puritan Shabad Kirtan is performed, do you feel you have come to a point of having left no stone unturned, or are you still discovering new things every day? And if so, please tell us about one of your more recent discoveries.
Yeah, thank you for that question. It is a very important question in the sense that, well, I was writing my paper when one of my students, who was the clinical professor and chair of the Sikh Jan, who headed the Sikh Jan chair at the Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles, Dr. Niranjan Kaur Khalsa, who's from University of Michigan. She did a MA PhD from there. She had organized me, Professor Cassio, we had all been invited in 2016, that is. And the publication of the papers presented in that conference were published last year. Routledge, Taylor and Francis, they published under the Sikh Formation, there's a Sikh Formations, is one of the refereed journals published by Routledge. So I ended up writing a 201-page long article. It went on and on and on. And in the course, I did a lot of research, and I discovered that in 1885, there's a book called Geet Sutra Sar by Sri Dhan Bandyopadhyay. He wrote 4 compositions of Gurbani in staff notation, in Bangla, in Bengali language, published in 1885 in Kolkata. So that, for example, it's fantastic to still continue to do research. There's so much more, and to imagine that for 134 years, those works had been lying hidden and waiting for me to discover them. That is extraordinary. There's one composition, before I go to another example, in that there is a composition, Halat Sukh, Palat Sukh. And it was written Alat Sukh, Palat Sukh, Alat. So instead of Halat, it was Alat. So that is how I recognized. Fortunately, a few lines were written in English as well in the 1885 edition. There's an original composition of Guru Arjan Dev, which goes in Dhanasari. This one. And this is sung in different Dhanasari forms. And Sridhar Bandhopadhyay writes in the Purvi Mēlā of that composition. Ano Naam Govind Ka Sardarni Jai. It goes like that. So this I discovered like a year and a half ago. And there's another composition from my grandfather. There was a Shri Rag Dhrupad of Mia Tansen. I only had the text because my grandfather died in 86. His diaries were presented to me by my grandmother 2, 3, 4 years later. And I would always open the books and it was dead music. It was only text written and no notations. And during the course of writing that paper, it is Memory and Pedagogy of Gurbani Sangeet. Professor Cassio will tell you, maybe some of you have already seen it. It's online as well, but of course I think through the university's library you can access that. And I've written this, I've given the composition also when Hari Mohan Upadhyay, who wrote a book in 1929 with 150 Drupads, and I found Tansen's Drupad written in that, and then another one written in 1932 by another maestro. So it's fun to discover compositions and music, and while writing my third volume for the Gurū Nānak University, which is in the process of publishing, just here, stranded in Rome since, for 44 days today, where my sons are in Turin and Bulgaria. I can't go there. My wife's in India. And I was writing the book. Suddenly, a composition in boomeranged in Rag Prabhati. And I remember I had been taught that in maybe 88, 89. Charan kamal sang tek, charan kamal sang Amal sang tek, charan kamal sang tek. Saran ek, so charan kamal saran ek, whatever. I'm forgetting the words. But it came and I notated it. I'm notating 5 compositions which have just boomerang back. So I think it is quite fantastic to be in the company of the elders, and it's like a rainfall. It's like hail storm that comes, and then later on the masters are gone. You still sometimes you chance upon a jewel that fell, and it comes comes boomer and stands in front of you. Say, hey, you've been missing me, I guess. I say, oh my goodness, here you are, and I begin to write. Thank you for the question. Francesca, we couldn't hear you. We couldn't hear you. We couldn't hear you. Yours a very bad connection today. We couldn't make out anything what you said. Yours is a very bad connection. Are you connected with the Wi-Fi or with the phone? Maybe you're connected with the phone signal. Can you put it on your Wi-Fi? I couldn't make out anything what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying, Francesca. I can't hear you. Can you put yourself on Wi-Fi rather than the phone connection? You're on Wi-Fi, you say. All right. So maybe then you need to switch. Go to the phone connection then. Just remove the Wi-Fi and put it on the phone connection. If you go to the settings and say goodbye to your Wi-Fi system. And there is, meantime, by the time she comes, another composition that that I remembered was Rag Prabhati Vibhas, by the 5th Guru. Ram Jap, Ram Jap, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Jap, Ram 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 Jap Ram 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 Jap Ram Jap. And look at the Prabhati, the way Vibhas comes. Kal kale se lobh moh. Pardon my voice. It goes up. My voice is totally dead. I have not been sleeping much, but it goes into the Vibhas in the higher octave. And it's a fantastic composition. And I remember just the other day, and I'm now in the process of notating that as well. I think Professor Cassio, I can't see you. Your video is off. And I can't hear you either. Here you are. Okay, here you are.
Hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Yes, much better, much better. Yeah.
Probably.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I apologize for the technical issue. So in class we also commented upon, we watched the video in which you were playing Pakhavaj, and you were discussing about the power of Pakhavaj, and in general also
Your signal's bad. Your voice is going. I can't make out. I can. Can you type? Can you type your question? Because signal is very. We can't make out anything, Francesca. We can make out. So let me. By the time Professor Cassio manages the signal, who's the next person to ask me the question? Can we have Shane? Let's have put your signal. Your signal is also not good. Hold on. Just hold on. I can't hear you either. There is a big problem with the signal. Can you type your question in the Skype chat here?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. So as we have a technical issue with the signal, I've requested Shayna to type her question, and I will read the question out, and I'll get Professor Cassio on screen now. And well, let's wait for Shayna to write meantime. Professor Cassio, can you... she's setting her stuff up. Yeah. Yes, so thank you, Shayna, for your question. She says, I know that, I'm quoting her question, I know that Partals were created to create a shift in the mind, but why specifically did Guru Ramdas and Guru Arjan decide to create Partals? What was their intention? Why did they want to create shifts in the devotee's mind? Well, I have a problem, very serious problem with your question, Shayna. I hope you don't get angry with me. But anyway, I was being naughty. On a light note, that is. I don't know. I have never heard that Partals were created to create a shift in the mind. Can you imagine? I didn't know. I'm learning from you, from your question, that they were created to create a shift in the mind. I don't know. Why were Partals? Is it there's a problem with this supposition? Because that means that until Guru Ramdas, there was no shift in the mind possible. That means Bhagat Kabir had no idea about shifting the mind. create a shift in the mind, that Bhagat Jayadev, born 1170, had no idea about that, whatever he was singing everything that he did, he taught everything they did, but he created no shift in the mind. Baba Sheikh Farid, born 1173, 3 years later, had done nothing to create a shift in the mind, right? Bhagat Ravidas, who was born in the 1390s, no shift in the mind. Bhagat Namdev, no shift in the mind. Bhagat Ramanand, their teacher, no shift in the mind. Gurū Nānak has no idea about shift in the mind. Guru Angad, Guru Amardas, no. Oh, suddenly Guru Ramdas has an idea. Oh, we need to create a shift in the mind. I don't think it's true. The shift in the mind is brought by the Gyan, by the knowledge of the Guru, that the Guru imparts. And it is important to see the source of this knowledge. Guru Nānak says his Guru is the creator. There is no, Guru Nānak is the Adi Guru, is the first Guru whose Guru, whose Satth Guru. Satth is real. That who is real is my Guru. No one else is my Guru. Guru Nānak was known not to bow his head in front of anything that he saw. No idol, no dead worship, no idol worship, no worship of any hypothesis written without being refereed, without substantiation. Just a hypothesis doesn't bow. In fact, Guru Angad was visited by so many people from those who were in touch with Guru Nānak, who had been touched by Guru Nānak, if I may rephrase. They came because it had spread like wildfire. Finally, Guru Nānak bowed his head. And he bowed his head in front of his disciple, whom he called his next Guru, his own. So his CV was, I am the one in front of whom Guru Nānak finally rested his head. So, point I'm making is, Guru Nānak says, that the Vani, Jaisi mein aave khasam ki Vani, the words of the Creator, the way they come, I say them, I sing them, that these are not my formulations, these are not my creations. And that word which comes directly from the Karta, like they came to Kabir, and they are not synonymous, as Guru Nanak's uniqueness is, he doesn't bar anybody else from receiving revelation. Because he is familiar with the idea of the Creator. Creator is so naughty, it can make a dumb person to speak. The Karta, the Creator, can transform an idiot into the wisest being ever. So the Karta is all powerful. You cannot say, oh, Karta has done this revelation and there will be no more revelation. It's not nonsense, according to Guru Nānak. And that's what people loved him. Muslims called him their Peer, Hindus called him their Guru. So the coming of the revelation is the one that already shifts the mind. It is not the coming of Partal. Partal is a poetic structure. I don't know. I never met Guru Arjan. I don't know. I never met Guru Ramdas in person. I meet them in their word, in their verse. I know some of their extraordinary masterpieces, and I love them for them, for all they have left behind. And I'm so sad that I cannot learn the rest of what I couldn't learn from the elders. That's one by disappointed. I can fight with them. Why couldn't you make a better arrangement that these compositions could have stayed on? So, like that. I think their intention is their intention. We can look at it in a different manner, that the 55 partals or 57, 56 partals exist in Guru Granth Sahib. They exist. And they have a very unique poetical meter. They have a unique singing style. I have received partals which are sung only in one tal. But the tal concept is another. We'll keep it for another day, for another class, when I will go deeper into the idea of tal and the partal and the dhrupas and so on and so forth. It's very misleading, the kind of things that have been said in the last few decades by people who were not actually recipients of the knowledge. They were speaking from the outside, not from the inside. Thank you very much, Shaina, for your question.
You're welcome. I would like to ask Jia Chang. Would you like to pose your question?
Yeah, it's me. So can you hear me? Should I type?
Yes, I can. I can hear you very well, yes.
Okay. So hi, I'm Jia Chang. I'm from China. So my
Welcome
question
to
is, so I'm new to the Sikh music. I'm interested in it. But when I say the sharpness and the words, it's supposed to let me to feel the Guru's power in it. But I feel I have a hard time to feel it, feel the Guru's power or the healing power in the songs. So what should I do to improve myself, or what advice you can give to those people who are new to the Sikh music like that? Thanks.
So You're welcome. Thank you for your wonderful question. So the key is that it is not, some people have said, and I've heard, it's not that you're directly referencing them. Some people think that it is the melody that has magic in it. It has some magic, right? Some people have, in ignorance, they are not scholars within the tradition. So within the musical tradition, within the rag tal sangeet systems, whether they are Hindustani, Karnataka, or Rabindra Sangeet, Gurbani, or Thumri, or folk, they are all using rag and tal. The basic ingredient is the idea of raga and the idea of tala, right? So one stereotype has been created as, oh, so-and-so raga does this. So-and-so rag is only for the sadness part. That and rag is only to do with happiness. That's all nonsense. In my learning, what the elders brought, every raga is like a personality like a person. Like I have times when I'm very happy. I can be very silent at times. I can go on yapping at times for hours and hours endlessly and meaninglessly even. I am capable of uttering some words of extraordinary wisdom, real or genuine wisdom. And I can crack a stupid joke as well. So I have a range. I have a dynamic range. From being an ordinary, ignorant felon to an enlightened being. That is the gamut that I have. A rag is a melody. A rag is also like that. And so is the tal, a structure within themselves. So they're not confined to one rasa. So anybody who tells you a rag is only confined to one rasa is bullshitting. They are, pardon my word, maybe it's, well, we are not on CBS or CNN, maybe it doesn't work, pardon my, slip of tongue, if I may. But it's all, crap in a sense. It's all nonsense would be the term which maybe I can rather rephrase with. Because look at Guru Granth Sahib, Rag Rāñgalī, Anand. Anand Sahib is to do with Anand is bliss, it's a Rāñgalī. Another composition, Satth, is to do at the time, talks of death, of life and death, and it's sung usually at the time of parting is in Rāñgalī. So likewise there are Vadhans Raga, you have Kodiya, which is to do with birth, which is to do with wedding. You have Kodiya in Vadhans, and then you have Alaniya, again the song of death or the one that reflects on the coming and going. So this has been sort of removed in that sense. Now, the actual, when you're talking from a spiritual, so this would give you joy from a musical perspective. But when you're coming to a spiritual perspective and literary perspective, the more understanding of the word that you gain, the joy that you will attain. It is only directly related to the understanding of the word, what is being. Like, for example, if you give me a song from Java, I may not know the language. I don't know whether they have a separate language. I don't know. Like, I'm that ignorant. That's why certainly the name of the country or Iron Cane. Now, I don't know the language. If a song comes to me, I wouldn't know whether somebody's saying, please come here, or bring me some water, or get the heck out of here, or it's time now to end the class. I don't know. So until I know the meaning, and I understand, I familiar myself with the poetics and the simile and the phrases, terminologies, the gesticulations or context, I won't be able to derive or harvest nectar out of it. Does that make any sense? Thank you very much for the question. Yes. Who's next? I don't see Francesca, but anybody else who's left who's not asked the question yet? I can't hear you, Francesca. I cannot hear you. Yes, okay, I see you. Can we have your question quickly, please? Can you say your question?
Hello?
I can't hear you. Can you type in your question, please? Can you type in your question? Let's not try this. So I have one of the and type your name and name as well. Okay, it's Haritha. Haritha's question is coming next. So I do understand that we are towards the fag end of the class, and I would ask some of the students who may need to go. They can leave at the time. If we have a class that you have to attend afterwards, you're welcome to leave, and I will. Me and Professor Cassio will thank you all in the end as well. Okay, so here comes the question. Haritha says, from your experience, how would you describe the healing power of Gurbani Kirtan? That's a beautiful question, Haritha. Thank you very much for that question. There's a composition Well, healing power, now there have been experiments that they say if you are of sound mind, if you are a happy person, you are cheerful, your DNA is different, your DNA changes. And if you suddenly become stressful, your DNA reacts directly. It's like your portrait, your fresh portrait. Every time, it's like the watches that take your heartbeat, calculate your heartbeats or your pulse every minute, every 5 minutes, and so on and so forth. So DNA responds like a flash of your actual state of being. So any word of wisdom, and Gurbani, the fact that it is Gurbani consists of the words of the Gurus, the words of the Guru Sikhs, the Sikh, the disciples of the Gurus, like the Bhatts and Bhai Mardana, Bhai Satth and Bhai Balwanta and so on and so forth. And Gurū Nānak and all other were Sikhs, but they became Guru and their utterances only when they were Guru are included in the Guru Granth Sahib. Then there was the Bhakti tradition, then there were the Sufis, and there were other elders whose words are not in the Guru Granth, but they are mentioned in the Guru Granth with a lot of respect. So, the revelation or realization and their utterance of wisdom, which can bring the mind to pause, to reflect, to contemplate, and not to rush after, fooled by the vices, the Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. There is the healing power there itself. So the healing power is not just of Gurbani Kirtan, the healing power is of Gurbani itself, the sacred word. The word which is not just a mere eulogy, which is not a mere praise, but it is the song which is Brahm Gyan, which is the Brahm Tat, which can transform a crow, a bird, into a swan, which is spiritual in the spiritual mystical world. It is referred to as an enlightened being to attain nirvana and so on and so forth. So one is that the sacred word itself can heal a person, because the moment the mind calms down, there is a sense of contentment within, there is a sense of acceptance. A person who is a true yogi, as Guru says, who weighs happiness and sorrows in equal stead, who's not swayed by joys and who's not frightened and disappointed by the disappointments, right? By these sadnesses and the sorrows and pain that comes. So the person who's the healed one is the one who sees both the sides of the coin without any favoritism, without any bias. And the one who says to the Karta, to the Creator, that I understand the laws of nature, I understand the laws of life. If there's a tsunami that comes my way, I am bound to get drowned. If there's a volcano that falls on my head, I am bound to die. So I'm not asking for eternal life, because I understand it's the law. That's the part that I agree to the terms of life and death, or of this life. So once you have understood, once you've learned the equation has been solved, this paradigm or this theorem has been solved, a person is a healed person, and that person can also be termed as a doctor who can share that joy, that contentment with others. Now, when you double it with the raga system, but raga system not just of a mere musician, but the raga system that is in the hands of an enlightened being, and then you triple it with the tal system, but not tal system of a mere musician, mere percussionist, but of an enlightened being. The Gurbani Sangeet is not a music of musicians. It is a music of the saints. It is music of prophets. It's the music of peers and the fakirs and some of the greatest souls that have graced this planet, or humankind. So I hope that helps. Thank you very much for your question. Any other question that there is left? I still cannot see the visual of Professor Cassio, and I'll bring her a little later. I see it is 6:44. Anybody else left? You can text, or here is Professor Cassio. I can see you now. Thank you very much for coming back. We were missing you out on the screen here. And if any other question is there, kindly type it down with your name. I think the name already comes. You're welcome to do that, and I will respond to that. Professor Cassio, can you say you're able to hear us well? Okay. Yeah, I can't hear you at all. Yeah, I can't hear you. So I think students are all done. So maybe I will say goodbye, and I will hold on to Professor Cassio. You can stay. Thank you very much, students who have joined in. You can sign out on your own from your Skype accounts. And thank you very much. And I wish you all the very best. And lastly, if I may, those who are yet to ask the question can remain if you have time, or if you can type any questions. I will still say this, and you will have the record on the Facebook Live here. My best wishes to you. I know it's a hard time in New York. It is now the epicenter of such calamity at the hands of the global pandemic or this coronavirus. I request you to keep safe, to make sure you follow all the guidelines not granted by or endowed by the politicians, but by the actual health officials. Only follow those. Don't fall prey to rumors. Don't start enjoying chloroquine with water, for example, or disinfecting your coronavirus with something. So don't go for that. Just follow the guidelines. Keep safe and keep well. And I look forward to seeing you in the very near future. Thank you for joining today. And yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And you can all those who need to go, you can sign out. So maybe the signal might also get better. And if you need a question, you can still continue to write on this thread that we already have in Skype. Thank you. Yes, Francesca, can you hear me?
I do.
Yes. So I think maybe it was the number of people on the bandwidth was now for example, the image is very clear. This was the first time I had many people together, and that I think was a little issue. But nevertheless, here we are. Thank you very much for inviting your students and for this wonderful set of questions. Yes, the floor is yours. You've been off the mic for quite some time. We can hear you very well. Yes.
Yes, I think was an issue with being the Skype conference call jammed with too many people.
Yes, yeah.
So I apologize. I tried all possible ways. That's why I disappeared several times. But so I apologize with everyone else who was joining us. I was reading some questions from the chat on Facebook, and I just wanted to clarify that this is a beginner's class. So, for instance, we didn't have the chance to discuss the ghar, the meaning of ghar. I see someone is asking to explain that. So I provide an overview, an historical overview, and also some musicological hints, also to explain that Gurbani Kirtan tradition, Gurbani Sangeet, belongs to the South Asian musical heritage. So, for instance, in musicological studies, we do study a lot Hindustani Sangeet, Khayal, of course, also Drupad, but really in books about discussing the history of South Asian music, there is still no mention of the Gurbani Kirtan tradition. So the point of the Sikh chair is also to re-legitimize the place of Gurbani Kirtan tradition within the wider picture of the South Asian music history. Of course, it's not just music, and we don't want that separation between music, the literary aspects, and the musical aspect. But our effort, and my effort as an ethnomusicologist, is to relocate or re-legitimize the Gurbani Kirtan tradition within the wider context, first of all, of the pre-colonial history, music history of South Asia. So the contribution of the GurSikh tradition to the other traditions, to the wider history of South Asian music. So how the Gurbani Kirtan and Gurbani Sangeet overall included also the voices of the others, the Bhakti voice, the Sufi voice, and how these voices have been preserved because not only of the Guru Granth Sahib, which is the written form, but also because of the oral tradition that has been passed on for generations within the Sikh Panth. So I was pointing out to my students how Bhai Sahib has done a pioneering work to restore, to recover also the oral memory the oral narrative, which has been submerged also by a scholarship. And in this, also ethnomusicologists, Western ethnomusicologists are responsible in discussing a narrative, which is the narrative of dominant groups, of other groups, that never made a space for Gurbani Kirtan tradition to be, acknowledged in books, for instance. You can pick any book of Indian music history, and you will not find a mention to this very old tradition, which is very strong, is still very solid. So that was my initial question when I began my research as an ethnomusicologist, coming from the study of medieval music and Drupad in particular. And also this is what I share with my students. So the effort is to acknowledge the contribution of the GurSikh musical heritage within the wider context of South Asian music and studies. But again, the students you have met today, I'm so glad that everybody met them, is a small group of students. They are undergraduate students, and this is the first semester. So I just provided them with the grid, with a context, with a wider understanding of pre-colonial Sikh music history and Bhai Baldeep's contribution. So the questions were related to that part. They are not PhD students. Thank you, Paisa, of course, for your hints.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you very much. And anything else that you would like to say before signing off?
I hope we will continue this series. I'm sure that many people have questions, more detailed questions for you, but maybe we can plan another time.
Yes, we can. And I may also mention to our friends who are signing in from around the world that I have requested Professor Francesca Cassio to join us for one of the, in this Baithak series, when I will be in conversation with her. I may also inform you that she began her very early. She's trained in she studied music, opera to jazz, and even popular some of the contemporary work that she did with her husband Filippo De Laura. They published stuff in the past when in Italy, and she studied from long time back. Yes, I know. But she's from Universidad La Sapienza. She's from Rome, where I'm stranded currently. And then she went on to study the Indian classical music, first with my senior, one of my senior classmates, Amelia Cooney. She's a Vidwan, she's a Vidushi, but who's now, she's not very, she's unwell for many years. She's been under treatment. And her husband, Werner, they both live in Berlin. My salutations to them as well. They're wonderful couple. So Francesca was then, for her masters, she came to study with Ustad Rahim Fahimuddin Dagar. And she did her laurea, which is masters here, and she wrote, her thesis was published as well. Then she went on to do her PhD in Tumri with one of the Bhais, Saira Begum, particularly Tumri, as in Banaras. And she studied with Vidushi Girija Devi, and has also been in close touch with my granduncles Bhai Avtar Singh, Bhai Gurcharan Singh, and has been, of course, studying, being her senior classmate as one of the senior students of Ustad Fahimuddin Dagar as well. I used to train under him. My vocal practices were being undertaken or being taken under him at the direction of Professor Sumati Mutatkar, the former dean of Delhi, Faculty of Music and Arts. So because she considered that my ancestors and Ustad Rahim Fahimuddin Dagar's particular style and his father's Alabad Rahimuddin Khan's styles were matching, that she forbid me to study from anybody else because it would change my original style. So there's a lot. It's important to understand how the concerns of the grand elders has been they want to maintain purity. So those of you who studying Gurbani and running just about anywhere to study Kirtan, you've not been given that advice which I was given at the very onset, and I've been very fortunate So I thank always Professor Sumati Mutadkar that just for the sake of learning more and more and in search of grammar, the seed was already laid by her before I ventured out anywhere, that the idea of what is the original style, how the original style needs to be kept, and so on and so forth. So Francesca has been at the receiving end of my criticism, my critique, my suggestions, of course, my advice for a long time, and I'm very glad to have her as one of my main students, including many wonderful people who've been studying since late 80s and early 90s, she is, of course, taught in some of the top conservatories in Italy, and she has attended some of the conferences that there are in the world that happen in the field of musicology and ethnomusicology. She has presented papers, and her papers are published, and she's received the university's top prize for her paper, which dealt with the women in Gurbani Kirtan, if I'm not mistaken. But we will talk in detail about that when I would invite her. She's very kindly agreed. I would have, of course, had a fight with her if she had refused. So I will, of course, schedule a time, maybe end of next week or the week after that, but sometime next week we will, because Dr. Cassio is, of course, as we all know, all those who teach in the universities are working day and night. They are familiarizing themselves with technology. Normally they would just go to the class and give a talk, but here, of course, they are having to teach from home and prepare lessons in a very different manner. So I will let it be the decision of Professor Cassio when she can make time for joining in as a guest in the YaarAnād Virtual Baithak Series.
Yes, thank you, Bhai Sam, for that. I just wanted to add two things. I also studied musicology with Professor and Drupad with Professor Rituk Sanyal. He was the tutor of my PhD at Benares Hindu University.
Oh, that's true, when you were there. Yes, I see.
Yes,
I see.
Okay. And also, I hope that we will have that conversation, because I'll be glad to share with everyone how really studying the Gurbani Kirtan tradition, Gurbani Sangeet, changed completely my perspective to South Asian music. As you know, especially at the very beginning, I was learning the tradition from a certain angle, which didn't regard the underrepresented musics. And so how studying the Gurbani Kirtan tradition and how studying with you really opened up my eyes and changed completely my approach as a scholar, as a musician, and how it changed my approach in a more inclusive way. And I hope to bring this change also in the field of ethnomusicology and South Asian music studies in general, a more inclusive approach, and not studying, not considering the contribution of the GurSikh musical heritage. It's a big loss. It's a big lack, actually, in academia. So this is what I'm addressing in my work at present, through decolonial lenses. So we look also at the impact of colonialism and how coloniality and scholarship derived from, Eurocentric episteme had an impact on our understanding in the West, but also in India, our understanding of Indian music history.
The sad thing that I have noted, even in the Hindustani Sangeet, I do not hear many concerts, and I've heard plenty now since the 80s. And some of the most important, let's say Drupad, because Khayal is only recent. The compositions are not very old. They don't go to Tansen's time or Swami Haridas or the Nayak's times. These are much later. So I'm discounting that whole repertoire for a moment. The Drupads take us back to what corresponds to the Renaissance era, medieval era, from Bhagat Jaydev onwards. So from the medieval to the Renaissance, early and later Renaissance, and then the Baroque era. The music of those centuries, from Bhagat Jaydev to Guru Gobind Singh's time, ending early 18th century. How many times do we hear compositions that date back? People would sing, let's say, if there is a composition of, let's say, Malcounts of Mia Tansen. My grandfather's diaries have that, the whole Drupad, but I will only sing for example, what the Talwandi people sing. Rajan ke Raja Ma Raja Raja. This one, for example, they would only sing the Asthai and the Antara. Jo jo mangat in chapal pavat karne ko aiye dan Raja Ram Rajan ke Raja Ma Raja jo jo mangat in chapal pavat karne ko aiye dan Raja Ram Rajan ke Raja Ma. All of these, for example, this is Mia Tansen's composition. If you look at one of the Talwandi exponents at the time of Akbar, when the Deen-e-Ilahi was announced, Rāñgalī Jalaluddin Akbar Rajayo Karatar Rāñgalī Jalaluddin Rāñgalī Jalaluddin Akbar Rajayo Karatar Rāñgalī Khardhar Gori Vase Shai Raman Shai Kanchana Bharakat Kino Dharmeta Lok Jasa Gavat Karata Sakatiya Rāñgalī. In Rag Suha, for example, this is original composition of the Talwandi school, Talwandi Gharana exponents, as taught to me by Ustad Muhammad Hafiz Khan of the Talwandi Gharana when I visited in Lahore, in I think my second follow-up visit in 2000. First time I went in 97 when I documented him and many other, and some of the Rababis, including Paigam and others. Now, and then there is this composition when, Aurangzeb, for example, Aurangzeb's time is the same thing that happened. I think my earphones have gone, so I will not be able to hear Dr. Cassio anymore. Or maybe I'll try to put this on and I'll do something that I had done yesterday with Sir Sikandar as well. Now, there might be some echo, but I'll try to reduce the
My phone is almost dead, so to connect.
Now, for example, the composition of Atar Khan Gulab Khan of the Talwandi Gharana again, which the Dagars also, the students of Dagarwani, they sing, the family of Ustad Baba Badam Khan and others. So they, for example, also are singing that. Let me reduce this. Let me think her. We'll see when she comes online, if she comes. Meantime, I can just say, oh, here she is. Yes. You left for a moment. Your signal had gone, Francesca. Can you hear me? Francesca, can you hear me? No. So anyway, if she comes on, I will try to take her on. But the composition, for example, of Atar Khan Gulab Khan, which was sung in the Shan of Aurangzeb, for example. Here, I think she's coming in. Yeah. I can't. Just a sec. Let me see. Built-in phone and the camera, audio source. Francesca, can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me now? Yes? Okay. Yeah. So the audio monitor beat spill. Okay. Can you say something? Yes. Can you say something? Can you hear my voice? I think she's frozen. But anyway, the Atar Khan Gulab Khan's composition, which was in Shan of Aurangzeb, for example. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, good. The composition is Longa balonka dhage dhruve dhonka Shahi Aurangzeb chadde ghode darade lonka Indrayasan halo elavadal malulrad aakas par shan shan धरनी जब धसमसद शेष तब कसमसद चरण तोरे आए डरद लौंका बलौंका धाग धुए धौंका शाही औरंगजेब चरण घोड़े डरद लंका डरद लंका डरद लौंका. For example, this is in the Shahan of Aurangzeb. Now, when we look at compositions that are being sung more and more by the Dhrupad exponents, even, they are not showing some of the heritage memory. They are not singing, I am not hearing compositions of Nayak Baiju Bawra or Nayak Bakshu or Miya Tansen or Swami Haridas. Swami Haridas's Malshiri in my granduncle Bhai Baldeep Singh taught me, Baba Jwala Singh is from my family tradition, this memory. And so and now they've created new rules that, oh, you know what, 3 note cannot be, 3-note raga cannot be, 4-note raga cannot be, 2-note raga cannot be, 1-note raga. They were Archik, Gatik, Sama, Samanantar. 4 forms of ragas have been thrown away by the modern day Indian musicology or music scene. They only talk of Adav, Khadav, Sampuran, 5-note raga, pentatonic, 6 notes and 7 notes. So there are big problems where we see in the contemporary scene, and everything is being sort of hidden, and nobody wants to talk about it. So this is such hypocrisy. And whereas when we look at the Gurbani Sangeet tradition, we have the oldest 2 compositions are from the times of Baba Sheikh Farid that I have in my memory, that I have been able to recover. One from my family tradition, one from the Rababi tradition, thankfully taught to me by Bibi Jaswant Kaur, who was passed on that composition by Paitaba Rababi, for example. Now, there are originals of Kabir Sahab, of Bhagat Namdev and Bhagat Ravidas that I have received. But I have not received only one composition of Bhagat Ramanand, not the other one. So it is not that you create something new and stamp of any author. No, there's a academic integrity within the tradition. There is semantic precision. There is intellectual honesty within the Gurbani Sangeet tradition, which I have not seen anywhere else. People take a text and they say, oh, this belongs to Tansen, but do you have the original composition? And they don't sing whole texts. Whereas in the Gurbani tradition, we do not take, leave lines out. We sing the whole composition. In the old times, of course, they used to hide. They would not sing the 3rd and the 4th part, but they will still sing the whole text. They were ways to hide copyrights or specialized knowledge from being plagiarized, from being stolen. They would exercise, but the text was always sung. So there's such hypocrisy. The Indian music scene is so poor. Everybody is creating their own compositions, but they're not showing scholarship. It's like saying, I'm a great poet. Okay, can you recite some poetry? They will only recite theirs. But if you ask, what is the history of poetry? They said, oh, well, we don't know. Anything from any other great poet that inspired you? Oh, no, I'm God inspired. That's a kind of God created, God graced musicians. They have no memory. They're not students of the history of Indian music, and without a bias, without favoritism. So there's a big problem, and I hope that with your interventions and contributions and those like those of Dr. Niranjan Khalsa and so many others who are doing, who are versed with the world of musicology as taught from the Western perspective, and who've studied musicology. I hate the term ethnic. I think Europe is ethnic. So many ethnicities. We are all ethnic. I mean, I think ethnomusicology includes the Western classical music. It is not. I mean, Indian classical is much bigger than what you have in Europe. The histories are different. The memories are much unique. So anyway, these are some of the thoughts, and I'm sure that we will be able to talk to each other in the time when I'll have the honor of hosting you in one of these virtual Baithak series.
Thank you, Bhai Satth.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, Francesca.
Thank you. Sat Shri Akal. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
So dosto, I hope ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਇਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ। ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਆ ਗਏ ਤੋਪਾਂ ਚਲਾਉਣ ਲਈ, ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਸੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੈਂ ਫਾਇਰਿੰਗ ਸਕੁਆਡ ਸੱਦ ਲਿਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਆਪ ਦੇ ਹੀ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਚਲਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਜੀ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੋਟਾ ਦੱਸ ਦਿਆਂ, ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਲੱਗ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ। I'll take a few minutes now to just briefly only address some of the questions that were addressed to me. ਇੱਕ ਸਵਾਲ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਹਰਿਤਾ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਔਖਦ ਹੈ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਸਰਬ ਰੋਗ ਕਾ ਔਖਦ ਨਾਮ। ਮੇਰੇ ਚਾਚਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹਰਦਿਆਲ ਸਿੰਘ IAS ਰਿਟਾਇਰਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਰਬ ਰੋਗ ਕਾ ਔਖਦ ਨਾਮ ਮਿਸ਼ਨ। ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੀਲਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਗਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੰਤਰ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਜਾਓ ਤੇ ਹੀਲਿੰਗ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗੀ, ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਹ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਤੱਤ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਚਾਚਾ ਹੁਣੀ ਵੀ, ਔਰ ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਤ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਫॉर एग्जांपल। ਸੋ ਮੇਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਔਖਦ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੈ, ਕਿ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੀ ਔਖਦ ਦੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੰਦਰੁਸਤੀ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ 2-3 ਐਸਪੈਕਟਸ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਬਾਣੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਜੋ ਤੁਰਕੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਜੋ ਤੁਰਕੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਆਈ ਤੇ ਸਗਲੀ ਚਿੰਤ ਮਿਟਾਈ ਹੈ। ਸਾਇੰਸ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਸਰੀਰ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਵੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਫਿਕਰ ਸਰੀਰ ਚੋਂ ਜਾਵੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਕਲੇਸ਼ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਚਲ ਜੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਮੁਹੱਬਤ ਔਰ ਪਿਆਰ ਵਸੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਸਮਦ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟੀ ਆ ਜਾਵੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਦੁੱਖ ਔਰ ਸੁੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਕਤਾ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਸੁਰ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁੱਖ ਤੋਂ ਭੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਂਦੇ, ਸੁੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜੱਫੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ। ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੰਤੁਲਨ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ। ਜੈਸੇ ਜਲ ਮੈਂ ਕਮਲ ਅਲੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸੁੱਚਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਮਲ ਪਾਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਉਹ ਸੁੱਚਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੈਠਣ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਤੇ ਜੇ ਮੈਲਾ ਗੰਦਾ ਭੱਦਾ ਪਾਣੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਬੈਠਣ ਦਿੰਦਾ। ਕਮਲ ਦੀ ਖਾਸੀਅਤ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਰਹਿਣਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਗੁਣ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਉਹ ਸਿੰਗਾਰ ਮਿਲਣ ਕੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਦਾ ਸੁਹਾਗਣ ਰੂਪ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੇ ਓਬਵੀਅਸਲੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੀਲਿੰਗ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਔਸ਼ਧੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾ ਗਏ ਹੋ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੋਹਰਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਰਾਗ ਸੁੱਚਤਾ ਨਾਲ ਗਾਇਆ ਜਾਵੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਦੇ ਵੀ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਵੀ ਅੰਕੁਸ਼ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਗਾਵੇ ਰਾਗੀ ਨਾਦੀ ਬੇਦੀ ਬਹੁ ਭਾਂਤੀ ਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਭਿਜਾ। ਹਰੀ ਹਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਭਿਜਦਾ। ਜੇ ਗਾਈ ਜਾਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਿਆਨ ਆਪਣੇ ਅਲਾਪੀ ਜਾਓ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵਜਾਈ ਜਾਓ, ਜੋ ਮਰਜੀ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਓ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਅੰਤਰ ਕਪਟ ਵਿਕਾਰ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਰੋਏ ਕਿਆ ਕੀ ਜਾਏ। ਸੋ ਕ੍ਰੋਕੋਡਾਈਲ ਟੀਅਰਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ, ਮਗਰਮੱਛ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਥਰੂ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਰੱਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਉੱਲੂ ਬਣਦਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਅਗਲਾ ਕੈਵੀਏਟ ਲਾਤਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਅੰਤਰੀ ਰਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਿਹਾਰੀ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਹੈ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਅੰਤਰੀ ਕਪਟ ਵਿਕਾਰ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਰੋਏ ਕਿਆ ਕੀ ਜਾਏ। ਉਹ ਰੋ ਲੈਣ, ਜੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਕਪਟ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਕੂੜ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਭਰੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ, ਵਿਕਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਲੱਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਹਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ ਮੰਨਦਾ ਕਿ ਬੰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਹੋਵਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਦਿਆਂ ਘਰ ਵਾਲਾ ਉੱਲੂ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਘਰ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੋਵਾਂ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੀ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਪਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਰ ਕਰਤਾ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਜਾਣਦਾ। ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਰੀ ਕਰਤਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੰਦਰਲੀ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਦਾ, ਅੰਤਰਜਾਮੀ ਹੈ, ਪਬ ਮੇਰਾ ਅੰਤਰਜਾਮੀ ਜਾਣ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਕੈਵੀਏਟ ਬੜਾ ਔਖਾ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗਾਉਣਾ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਿਕਾਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਰਹਿਤ ਹੋਵੋ, ਜਿਹਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਣ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਤੁਕਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਸ਼ਬਦ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੁਹਰਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ। ਕੋ ਬਿਖਮਕਾਰ ਤੋਰਾ, ਉਹ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਗਾਉਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਦੋਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਹੀਲਿੰਗ ਕਦੋਂ ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਉਹਦਾ ਦੂਜਾ ਰੂਪ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਗਰੋਂ ਅਹੰ ਮਿਟਾਵੋ ਤਾਂ ਘਰੀ ਲਾਲਣ ਪਾਵੋ ਤਬ ਰਸ ਮੰਗਲ, ਤਬ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਉਦੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਸ ਤੇ ਮੰਗਲ ਤੇ ਗੁਣ ਗਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਇਹਦਾ ਅਰਥ ਇਹ ਹੋਇਆ, ਇਹਦਾ ਅਰਿਥਮੈਟਿਕ ਗਣਿਤ ਇਹ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣੋ ਸਹੀ ਮਿਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ਿੰਗਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੇ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਰਹਾਓ, ਪਹਿਲੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੇ 2 ਰਹਾਓ ਨੇ। ਪਹਿਲੇ ਰਹਾਓ 'ਚ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਪਲਾਟ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਮੋਹਨ ਨੀਂਦ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ, ਹਾਰ ਕਜਰ ਬਸਤਰ ਭਰਨ ਕੀਨੇ, ਉਡੀਨੀ 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 ਕਬ ਘਰ ਆਵੇ ਨੀ। कि मैं सारे श्रृंगार कर ले, मैं वकार कढते, मैं अपने श्रृंगार कर ले जो मैनू हे गुरु हे गुरपुरख परमेश्वरा जो तू मैनू कहा सी मैं कर लिया, पर मैं उडीकदियां कदों आऊगा सौ करे, कदों मैनू गुरमुख विआह बनाया, मैनू वो जिहड़ा मुख गुरु आ मैनू विआहण कदों आऊगा। सो कहने का भाव है कि यह जो पहला प्लॉट यानी कि श्रृंगार ऑलरेडी रैक्विजिट सीगा, प्री रैक्विजिट हो गया या पहला प्लॉट बन गया कि श्रृंगार होके सुहागण रूपी इंतजार कर रही है, तो इंतजार कर रही है कि कहे कबीर मोरे कहे आए राजा राम बतारा है जी, कहे कबीर मोहे ब्याह चले है, वो अवस्था की उड़ीक है, वो वेले की बरात की उड़ीक है, यानी कि कदों लाड़ा आवे अपनी बरात दे नाल। कहते कोट दे 30 कहते सुरनर सारे गण गंधर्व आए, कोट ते 30 जाना सारे आए, कहते 33 करोड़ देवी देवते बरात विच आए, रब जो मैनू विआहण आया, कहे कबीर मोहे ब्याह चले है, पुरख एक भगवान ना कोई होर भी, इको पुरख जिहड़ा भगवान है वो मैनू ब्याह के लै चलिया। वो व्याकुल अवस्था के जदों इंतजार है, जदों हले बरात आई नहीं है, श्रृंगार हो चुकिया है, वो अवस्था का महाराज इत्थे वर्णन कर रहे हैं। फिर वो पहला अंतरा आउंदा है कि सरणी सुहागण, कहते कि मैं श्रृंगार कर ले, मैं भरम च नहीं पई, लेकिन मैनू याद है कि सौ ने आउणा सी। सरणी सुहागण हे गुरु चरण सीस धर, हे गुरु लालन मोहे मिलावो, मैनू मिला दे मेरा लाल, मेरा परम पुरख एक भगवाना मिला दे, मैनू विआह दे, मैं आया नहीं हले, मैं उडीकदी मैं व्याकुल, मैनू चैन बेचैन चा, मैनू नींद नहीं आउंदी। गुरु फिर आउंदा है तीजे चरण च, जो संचारी आउंदी कि सुनो सहेरी मिलन बात कहो। वो कहते हुण देखो पहला सिख सी, उन्होंने हुण सहेरी बना रहे ने, हुण ये वो वेला जदों गुरु नानक लहणे नूं अंगद कर रहे ने, वो वेला आ गया हुण है जी। कहते सुनो सहेरी मिलन बात कहो तू भरमां च, कहते वड्डे वड्डे देवी देवते, वड्डे वड्डे प्रॉफिट, वड्डे वड्डे जिहड़े वड्डे वड्डे लोग होए ने ठाठा बाठां वाले, वो तां श्रृंगारां दे विच ही गवाच गए, वो तां श्रृंगार करके कहंदे मैं खौरे मैं ही रब हो गया। वो कहते तू याद रखिया कि श्रृंगार वॉज नॉट दी एंड ऑफ द मीन, मतलब मंजिल ये नहीं सी, ये साधन सी, तेनू याद रह गया। ते हुण तां कि गुरु कहता मैं तेनू सहेरी कह रहा कि सुनो सहेरी मिलन बात, तू हले भी मिलन दी याद रखी, मिलन बात कहो सगरो अहं मिटाओ। हुण छड्डी ना एक भी, ये दो अर्थ ने, दोनों बड़े मजेदार ने। सगरो यानी कि अहं जड़ा सारे दा सारा, या हर किस्म का अहंकार मिटा दे, दो अर्थ ने बड़े मजेदार ने। कि सुनो सहेरी मिलन बात कहो सगरो अहम मिटावो ताओ। लुक एट द कंडीशनैलिटी, गणित देखो, आ होया था आ होया था आ होया था आ, परत है ए होया था आ, ए होया था आ, ए होया था आ, ए आ पा लिया। सगरो अहम मिटावो ताओ घरी ही लालन पावो, तो घरे ही तू पाएगा लाल, तो उत्थे बैठा तेनू दीदा नहीं, तेरे अखां ते पड़दा पिया, तेरे अहंकार दा पड़दा सी, ओ मैं सी, ओ उत्थे तू नहीं आउंदा जिथे मैं सी। ਇਹ समझाता महाराज ने, कहते सगरो हम मिटावो तो घर ही लालन पावो तब। लुक एट दिस, देन आफ्टर कितनी परत बनी, तब रस मंगल गुण गावो आनंद रूप त्यावो नानक द्वारे आयो तो मैं लालन पायो री। और हाउ दूजा के मोहन रूप दिखावे अब मोह नींद सुहावे मीठी पिरह कहानी अब मैं सहज समानी मोहन लालन पायोरी। ए विधि बनी है तो एरिथमेटिक मैथोडोलॉजी पैडागॉजी गुरु नानक दी। और हीलिंग दे विच एक होर पता बड़ा अद्भुत हैगा गुरु रामदास महाराज दा कि जप मन नर हरे नर हर स्वामी। मैं अगले दिन कुछ दिन पहला गाया भी सी, वो मेरी जिहड़ी कीर्तन दी लड़ी आ उहदे विच ओ हैगा, उहदे विच पता आउंदा है कि जित ग्रह गुण गावते हरि के गुण गावते राम गुण गावते तित ग्रह वाजय पंच शब्द वड भागमत होरा तिन जन के सब पाप गए सब दोख गए सब रोग गए काम क्रोध लोभ मोह अभिमान गए तिन जन के हरि मार कड़े पंच चोरा। ਇਹ ਵੀ ਦੇਖੋ ਹੀਲਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਦਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗ੍ਰਹਿ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਘਟ ਭੀਤਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਏ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੋ ਰਮਿਆ ਰਾਮ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਜੋ ਹਰੀਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਰੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਪਾਣਾ ਵਰਤਦਾ ਕਿ ਹਰੀ ਪੁਰਖ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਵਰਾ ਆਪ ਆ ਕੇ ਪੰਜੇ ਵਿਕਾਰ ਕੱਢ ਮਾਰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿਕਾਰ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਗੁਣਾ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੱਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ तुसी अपने आप तंदुरुस्त हो जाते हो। तुसी मन करके भी मन जे तंदुरुस्त हो गया शरीर तुहाडा DNA उहदे नाल झटपट ठीक हो जाता है। साइंस भी अज कहती है कि जिन्ना चंगा खुशहाल मन होएगा उन्नियां घट बीमारियां हुंदियां, इम्यूनिटी उत्थे ज़्यादा बेहतर हुंदी है। अगला सवाल एक जो ने शायद कीता सीगा कि मैनू की प्रेरणा बारे मेरी गल कीती सी कि परंपरा गुरबानी संगीत की जिहड़ी परंपरा है उहदी भाल संभाल इहदे बारे मैं किद्दां मैनू उमंग मिलदी है, किवें मेरे जज्बा आउंदा, किवें मैं अपना जी लाई रखदा। मैं उन्होंने कहा जी मेरा तो जी कि मैं तो इउं है जिवें तुसीं उमंग दा मैनू अवतार कह लो, मैनू मैं तो 24 घंटे लगा रहना, मैनू कदे लगदा ही नहीं, मैनू तो ये नहीं पता कि छड्ड के हो किवें करीदा, मैनू नहीं पता। मेरे जवाकां नू पुछ लो, वो कहणगे प्यो आखे कौन जिहड़ा कदे सानू मिलदा नहीं, जिहड़ा सानू कदे ते हाय ते बाय वाला प्यो, ते जिहनू ये नहीं पता बच्चों की फीसां किन्नियां सी दित्तियां अज ताईं वो मां दिंदी है, जिहनू ये नहीं पता घर जे आ गया तो बाहर जाना भी हुंदा है, जे बाहर गया तो घर आना भी हुंदा है, वो कम च ही लगा रहिंदा 24 घंटे, वो सौंदा है ते मसां जाके सौंदा है ते जागदा फिर वो जिथे जिहड़ियां किताबां दे उत्ते मत्था मूँह भार गिरिया हुंदा उत्थों ही शुरू कर जांदा। सो वो कहण दा भाव कि मैं उन्हां नूं यही दस्सिया कि मैनू जिहड़ा जज्बा, क्योंकि जदों मैं बाकी संगीतकार हनगे वो संगीत सिखते ने ते वो कर रहे हैं संगीत, लेकिन मैं फ्लाइंग दा मैं पायलट हैगा सी। ते जदों मैं 1987 च अपने बजुर्गां दे नाल संपर्क च आया, खास करके भाई अवतार सिंह, भाई गुरचरण सिंह उन्हां दा फिक्र मैं समझिया। फिर मैं नाम उदों लेना भुल गया, भाई साहब भाई अशोक सिंह बागड़ियां, उन्हां नाल जदों मुलाकातां ऑफकोर्स मेरे दादियां तो बाद होईयां, उदों मैं ऑलरेडी चिंतन च पै चुका सीगा ते उन्हां दा भी फिक्र मेरे नाल मैनू मिलिया, उन्हां दा जो सोचो फिक्र सी, जो पहला की सी हुण की सी। ते मेरा फिर नतीजा यही सी कि मैं कहा जी मैनू अपना होर तक मनदा नहीं पिया। जिहड़े वड्डे वड्डे रागी ने उन्हां दे जवाक को गज़लां सिखण दिया, कोई ठुमरियां सिखण दिया, कईयां नूं तो मैं उदों जोर लाया कि बई तुसीं होर पासे ना जाओ, तुसीं कीर्तन सिखो, विद्या अपने फादर कोल सिखो, किसी होर कोल एक्सैस नहीं हैगा, तुहाडे कोल एक्सैस है, घट्टो घट्ट तुसीं नॉलेज तां लै लो। सो खैर वो दौर आया जदों मैं फिर फैसला किया कि किसी नूं बड़ी चढ़ना बड़ी होना पैना, किसी नूं अपना त्याग करना पैना, क्योंकि शौक की चीज़ नहीं है, पूरी तरह लगना पैना, क्योंकि बहुत वड्डी परंपरा है, ये 24/7 काम करने वाला है। सो 1990 जनवरी फरवरी च मैं जो अपना कैरियर ऑप्शन सारे फ्लाइंग के छड्डते, उदों दा मैं लगा तो मैनू यही मैं दस्सिया कि मैं तो प्रेरिया होया उन्हां वड्डे पुरखां दा जिन्हां ने गुरु दी तत्त, गुरु दा सार, गुरु दे हीरे जवाहरात, गुरु दियां दातां मेरे ते पुजातियां उन्हां वड्डियां ने सामभ के रखियां। मैं उन्हां दा आशिक हां, उन्हां दा प्रेरिया होया, ते प्रेरणा इन्नी है कि तुसीं भी लुट के लै जाओ तां भी मेरे कोल प्रेरणा बची है। मैं उन्हां नूं हासे च ये गल्लां कहियां। अगला सवाल सीगा माइकल दा, जिहड़ा पखावज बजाउण दा शौक रखदा है, और मेरे शागिर्द परमिंदर सिंह भबरा जिहड़े इटली च वसदे ने अपनी वाइफ दे नाल, मिकाएला पैट्रिका ओहदा, सुभाग कौर ओहदा नाम है, और ओहदा सवाल सीगा कि with all the work you've done, with all the work you've done recovering information on Sikh traditional musical instruments and the way Puratan Shabad Kirtan is performed, do you feel like you have come to the point of having left no stone unturned, or are you still discovering new information on these almost forgotten treasures from the past? If so, please tell us about one of your more recent discoveries. So I think mainu hun yaad aa raha ki I did not really address the whole question. I addressed more the last part, ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ recent discoveries ਨੇ, because I think time ਘੱਟ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਮੇਰੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਮੈਂ ਹਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਰੋਕ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਵਾਲ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਸੰਦਰਭ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਨਗੇ, ਸਿੱਖ ਬੈਕਗ੍ਰਾਉਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਨਗੇ, ਕਈ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਬਣਦਾ। ਸੋ ਆਈ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਮੋਰ ਟੂ ਦ ਲਾਸਟ ਪਾਰਟ ਆਫ ਦ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ, ਬਟ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਵਾਲਾ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਐਡਰੈਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਲਿਹਾਜ਼ਾ ਮੈਂ ਉਹੀ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ मैं उन्ना ही तुहानूं दसदा जो मैं उन्होंने दस्सिया हैगा कि 1885 च लिखी हुई गीत सूत्रसार हरिधन बंदोपाध्याय दी उहने 4 रीतां गुरबाणी दीयां वैसटर्न रोटेशन च कीतियां सी बंगला दे विच, और पुरानियां रीतां उहने रोटेट कीतियां सी, वो मैं 1.5 साल पहलां लभियां ने। सो खोजा मैं कई कर रहा, रीतां मैनूं कई पुरानियां याद आ रही, मैं इस वेले 325-26 बंदिशां लिख चुकिया, 78-79 रागां दे विच हुण, और जिहदे चों तकरीबन 125 के करीब मैनू बंदिशां, 140 के करीब मैनू मेरे वड्डे दादा जिहड़ियां मैं पहला नहीं सिखियां सन वो मैनू कराइयां पिछले सालां दे विच। उन्होंने अपने स्वास जागण तो पहला उन्होंने कई रीतां मैनू मोटा मोटा लिख के भी दित्तियां, बड़ी उन्होंने कृपा की। और फिर जिहड़ियां रीतां इन्हां ने मैनू यादां खोण तो पहला लेट 80s दे विच और अर्ली 90s दे जिहड़ियां कराइयां सी मैनू याद सन, वो भुल चुके सन, वो सारियां मिला के ते होर जिहड़े बजुर्गां कोल मैं जो सिक्ख्या, ਜਿਹੜੀ को पुरातन चीज़ मिली है खास, वो मैं मिला के तकरीबन 325-26 बंदिशां ने गुरु नानक देव यूनिवर्सिटी दे विचों मेरी वॉल्यूम जिहड़ी है गुरबाणी संगीत प्राचीन कीर्ति माला के नाम से इट्स इन द प्रोसैस ऑफ पब्लिकेशन ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ मैं वो सारियां मैं कीतियां भी नहीं ਉਹਦੇ बारे में उन्होंने जवाब दिता फिर जिया शेंग करके हैगे ने चीन तो उन्हों का सवाल सीगा कि कहते कि in Sikh history there are total 10 gurus and each one of them their contribution is huge is a huge part of Sikh culture. When I sing the Shabds, it should make me feel the power of Guru, but I have hard time to feel the connection of Guru and the holy power. What should I do to change the relationship? ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਭਾਵ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ 10 ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਤੇਜ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਕਲਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਜਾਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗਾ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਗਾਉਣਾ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਦਾ ਅਹਿਸਾਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਔਖਿਆਈ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਣਾ ਬਾਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਮੇਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਤੀਤ ਦੀ ਡੋਰੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਭਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਈ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰੂਹਾਨੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰੀ ਇਹ ਰਿਸ਼ਤਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਬਦਲੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਅਦਭੁਤ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈਗਾ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਦੱਸ ਦਿਆਂ ਕਿ ਦਿਸ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਇਜ਼ ਆਫ ਐਵਰੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਐਜ਼ ਵੈਲ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਕਤ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੱਖਰ 'ਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਉਹੀ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ 2-3 ਅਸਰ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਹੈ ਤਾਕਤ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਹੈ ਤਾਕਤ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੀਲਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਔਖਦੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਔਸ਼ਧ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਹੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੇ ਅਰਥ ਭਾਵ ਉਹਦੇ ਅਹਿਸਾਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਜਾਗਤ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪ੍ਰਕਾਸ਼ਮਾਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਜੀਵਿਤ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਖੜਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਲ ਹਮਵਾਰਤਕ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਸੂਝ-ਬੂਝ ਉਹਦੀ ਸੰਥਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕੇ ਉਹ ਬਾਕਾਇਦਾ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਚਿੰਤਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਲੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਾਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਉਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਰਾਜਮਾ ਪਕਾਉਣੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਹੋ ਜੇ ਨਾ ਪਕਾਏ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਦ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਕਾਉਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ 'ਚੋਂ ਰਿਝਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਰਾਗ ਹੈ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤਾਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਵਧੇਗੀ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝੋਗੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਾਣ ਲੋਗੇ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਤਾਕਤ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇਗਾ ਉਸ ਅੱਖਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਤੇਜ ਆਪਣਾ ਪਰੋਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਸਾਰਾ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਦਾ ਸਾਰ ਪਰਮਪੁਰਖ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਵਰਾ ਦਾ ਸਾਰ ਉਸ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਅੱਖਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰੋਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸ਼ੇਨਾ ਜੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਬਚਪਨ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਸਿੱਖਦੀ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਮੇਜਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਆਸਾ ਦੀ ਵਾਰ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸੁਖਮਨੀ ਸਭ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਹਨੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ ਦੇਖੋ ਇਹ ਕਮਾਲ ਦੀ ਬੱਚੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ PhD ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੀ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਪੜਤਾਲਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ 'ਚ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਨਾ I know that the portals were created to create a shift in the mind but why specifically did Guru Ramdas and Guru Arjan decide to create portals what was their intention why did they want to create shifts in the devotees' minds ਇਹ ਉਹਦਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰ ਹੀ ਸੁਣ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਖਬਰੇ ਪੜਤਾਲਾਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਰਚੀਆਂ ਸਨ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਬਦਲਾਅ ਲਿਆਉਣਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਬਦਲਾਅ ਮੈਂ ਹੱਸ ਕੇ ਛੇੜਿਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਭਗਤ ਜੈਦੇਵ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਬਦਲਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਉਹੀ ਵਿਕਾਰੀ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਉਮਰ ਭੋਗ ਗਏ ਜਾਂ ਬਾਬਾ ਸ਼ੇਖ ਫਰੀਦ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਮਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਂ ਕਬੀਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਭਗਤ ਰਾਮਾਨੰਦ ਨੇ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਹੋਏ ਜਾਂ ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਏ ਗੁਰੂ ਅੰਗਦ ਹੋਏ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਹੋਏ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਾਈਂਡ ਦੇ ਸ਼ਿਫਟ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹਾਸੇ ਖੇਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਪਾਏ ਰਹਿਸਾਏ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਏ ਮਨ ਨਿਧਾਨ ਪਾਏ ਮਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਜ਼ਾਨਾ ਪਾ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਪਾ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਰਹਿਸਾਏ ਉਹ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁਣ ਰਹਾਓ ਚ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਏ ਹੁਣ ਕਿਤੇ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਮਨ ਮੇਰਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਗੁਰ ਮਨਾਰ ਪ੍ਰਿਯ ਦਿਆਰ ਸੋ ਰੰਗ ਕੀਆ ਕੀਨੋਰੀ ਸਗਲ ਸਿੰਗਾਰ ਤਜੋਰੀ ਸਗਲ ਪਿਕਾਰ ਧਾਵ ਤੋਂ ਅਸਥਿਰ ਥੀਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਭੱਜਦਿਆ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਧਾਵ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਫਿਤਰਤ ਸੀ ਇਧਰੋਂ ਭਜਣਾ ਉਧਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਉਹ ਸਥਿਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਐਨ ਟਕਾਚ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਗਿਆਨ ਕਾ ਬੱਧਾ ਮਨ ਰਹਾ ਗੁਰਬਿਨ ਗਿਆਨ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਮਝੋਗੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿ ਮਨ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਪਰਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੇ ਆਉਣ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਲਹਾਮ ਹੈ ਤੁਰਕੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਜਾਂ ਖਸਮ ਕੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਜੈਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਆਵੇ ਖਸਮ ਕੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਤੈਸੜਾ ਕਰੀ ਬਿਆਨ ਵੇ ਲਾਲੋ ਪ੍ਰਥਮ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਾ ਬੋਲਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਮੁਤਾਬਕ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਰਕੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਆਈ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤਤਾ ਆਈ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਨ ਸ਼ਾਂਤ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮਨ ਸ਼ਿਫਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੋ ਪੜਤਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੰਦਰਭ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਤਾਲਾਂ ਪੜਤਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਵਿਅੰਗ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੇਲੇ ਹੋਰ ਨਜਿੱਠਾਂਗੇ ਪਰ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਭੁਲੇਖਾ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਦੂਰ ਹੀ ਅੱਜ ਕੀਤਾ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਣ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਦੂਰ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੋ ਇਹ ਦੋਸਤੋ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਨੋਟ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀ ਜੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਯਾਦ ਨਹੀਂ I hope this was a wonderful Baithak for you, very educative. Not from me, but at least for you to see that you see the kind of look at the baag of Gurū Nānak, the orchard of Gurū Nānak. It's a global orchard, and seekers of truth, seekers of knowledge, seekers of excellence, those who aspire excellence, is not bound to one region. And that's what Guru Granth Sahib written in so many ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਭਾਖਾਵਾਂ ਚ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਨ ਤੋਂ ਆਇਆ ਕੋਈ ਬਰਤਾਨੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਤੋਂ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਊਥ ਅਫਰੀਕਾ ਤੋਂ ਹੈ ਸਾਊਥ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਤੋਂ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ ਯੂਰਪ ਤੋਂ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਦੇਖੇ 8-9 ਜਣੇ ਇੰਕਲੂਡਿੰਗ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਫ੍ਰੈਂਚੈਸਕਾ ਕਾਸਿਓ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੈ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੈ ਪਿਆਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਨਾ ਲੈ ਸਕੀਏ ਕੁਝ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਸਕੀਏ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਸ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਔਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਭਗਤ ਕਬੀਰ ਭਗਤ ਰਵਿਦਾਸ ਭਗਤ ਨਾਮਦੇਵ ਹੋਣਾ ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਬਾ ਸ਼ੇਖ ਫਰੀਦ ਹੋਣਾ ਦੀਆਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਖੁਸ਼ੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਰਦਾਨ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਬਚਨ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਤੋਂ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਲੈਣਾ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਇਸ 6ਵੇਂ ਮੇਲੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ 6ਵਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਯਾਰਾਨਾਦ ਵਰਚੁਅਲ ਬੈਠਕ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੁੜੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੁਕਰਗੁਜ਼ਾਰ ਹਾਂ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਇੰਸਟੀਚਿਊਟ ਆਫ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਸਟੱਡੀਜ਼ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਚ ਇਜ਼ ਹੈਡਡ ਬਾਈ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਤਿਤਸਿਆਨਾ ਲੋਰੈਂਜ਼ੈਤੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਥਾਂ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਰਹਿਣ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਫਿਕਰੀ ਹੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਰਹੇਜ਼ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਮੁਹੱਈਆ ਕਰਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡਿੰਗ ਆਲ ਕੰਫਰਟ ਦੈਟ ਆਈ ਵੁੱਡ ਰਿਕੁਆਇਰ and even food, looking at minute details. And on behalf of all the directors of the International Institute of South Asian Studies, I thank you all for joining us today here. And I will see you tomorrow. Do not forget, tomorrow we have a very special guest, Jasbir Jassi, but the time will be 4 p.m. again. So that will be 7:30 again India time. It was only to accommodate the students from the US because it was to do with their class, which started at 11:15 in New York. So that's why we started at 5:15 Italian time or 8:45 in India. ਕੱਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਚ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਦਾ ਸਦਕਾ ਕੋ 11:15 ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਬਜਾਏ ਕਿ 10 ਵਜੇ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ 4 ਦੀ ਬਜਾਏ ਸੀ 5:15 ਇਟਲੀ ਦੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਔਰ 7:30 ਦੀ ਬਜਾਏ 8:45 ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਅੱਜ ਔਰ ਕੱਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਦੇ 7:30 ਵਜੇ ਆ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਸਕੈਜੂਲ ਉਹੀ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਇਟਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 4 ਵਜੇ ਔਰ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਦੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਨਾਲ 10 ਵਜੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਔਰ ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ 7 ਵਜੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਸ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕੱਲ ਜੁੜੋਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਔਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਰਾਹਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੜੇ ਸੁਣੇ ਨੇ ਪਰ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਤਾਬੀਅਤ ਹੈ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਉਹ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਭਾਲਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਗਿਆਨ ਰਾਗ ਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਬੰਦਿਸ਼ਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਲਿਰਿਕਸ ਅੱਛੇ ਹੋਣ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੜਾ ਚਿੰਤਨ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜੀਵਨ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਝਾਤੀ ਮਾਰਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੰਗੀਤਕ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਕੀ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਸੰਦੀਦਾ ਰਾਗ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਸੰਦੀਦਾ ਪੁਰਾਣੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਫੋਕ ਲੋਕ ਸੰਗੀਤ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਛਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਹੀਰ ਬੜੀ ਅੱਛੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਸੁਣਾਂਗੇ ਕੱਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਔਰ ਜੱਸੀ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਜੁੜਿਓ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਰਤਾ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਤੀ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਅੱਜ ਰਾਤੀ ਮੈਂ ਪੋਸਟਰ ਪਾਵਾਂਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਵਾਲ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਲਿਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕੱਲ ਤੱਕ ਲਈ ਮੈਂ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਖੁਦਾ ਹਾਫਿਜ਼ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ and very good night to all of you. Sath Kartar.